Yeah, my first impression is that it's quite impressive, and also more impressive than I imagined before I left home. I thought that it would have been a more academically oriented conference, but it turns out to be a vibrant forum with academics, politicians, bureaucrats, the whole thing, and it's really impressive, and I enjoyed the experience. So my presentation was probably more focused on politics than the economics of taxation, because I think that before you can change a policy system or a tax policy system, it's important that you have the people with you, because it's basically democratic institutions, and if you don't have the people with you, if you don't have a legitimacy in the political system to change, then you can basically don't do anything that will in the long term be sustainable. And that is probably the main lesson of the Scandinavian countries where I come from, that there is a solid legitimacy in the political system, which means that the politicians they can make policy decisions that are also unpopular, but without people actually questioning the legitimacy of the entire system. And I think that's probably one of the key takeaways from the Scandinavian experience. On that question, I have to admit that I'm not into the details of the Brazilian tax system, but I think it starts with looking at the capacity of the political system to change and perhaps fight corruption, and then try to ensure that the political decision-making process actually is supported by the people, and try to build a system in which the people trust, and so that, as I mentioned, for the Scandinavian countries, so that people, they will also be willing to accept political decisions, even though that the outcome of those decisions are not necessarily in their personal interest. And that's probably one of the key lessons, and one of the things that I would encourage Brazilians to think about, and when they get into the process of reforming, not only tax policy, but any other policy area for that matter.